Yo, we are live on YouTube. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning into today's program. No matter where you are or how you're watching, we always appreciate the Who Dat Nation for making us a part of their day. So many great content options to get black and gold coverage. So thank you guys for making us a part of your routine and getting information from here. Really quick, we got a loaded show. We're going to talk about some free agency stuff, some trades, some cut candidates. It's going to be a blast. As always, our Wednesday live shows are a great time. And then, of course, at the end of it, we're going to dive into a mailbag, live Q&A. You guys have questions. I have answers. Get them in the comment section for free. Hashtag Saints, and then fill in your question. I got producer Nick Lopez, the Louisiana legend, on the ones and twos, so show him some love and give me a who dat down in the comment section. Shout out to Manuel, Chris, Jerry G, Finley, Clay, Mr. Filmer, Weston for all hanging out with us as we get our day started. Hayden, I appreciate you with that question. We'll make sure we hit that during our mailbag. Nathan, what's going on, my friend? Michael, Lorenzo, hope y'all are doing well. This is gonna be a fun show. I'm actually really excited about this one. We got some good content here. We got some really, really good content. I think we're drafting Ashton Genty from Ducky. Jerry G, who dat? Who dat from Creston, Louisiana from Hayden. David saying who dat. Blaze saying who dat. Admirable Blackbeard saying who dat. Finley, who dat. David, who dat for life. I love to see it. When I see a flood of who dats, I get very happy. It makes me very, very happy. If you guys haven't already, vote in the live poll as well, like today's videos. That way we can get more Saints fans in the live stream. It always helps us out getting more people into the show. And we always appreciate those of you who share the show and all that good stuff. But make sure you get your votes in on the live poll. Right now, the question is, would you trade for DK Metcalf? 71% says yes. Lopez, would you trade for DK Metcalf? What up, Queen Courtney? Hope you're doing well.
I don't think DK Metcalf's bad.
Okay.
But I don't think he's going to turn the Saints around. He wants a new contract. Mm-hmm. I think the Saints kind of just need a rebuild.
Yeah. They're not a DK Metcalf away. That being said, DK Metcalf fits exactly what the Saints need. I just don't think it makes sense for them to indulge.
Oh, he would definitely be great on the team, but adding a DK Metcalf is not bringing to a Super Bowl next year.
No, it doesn't. And honestly, it doesn't do it in a couple of years. I'm kind of in the camp of we tried going all in on Derek Carr. They're going to keep telling us they're going to go in all Derek Carr. No, you're not going to win playoff games with DC4 at the helm. Finley, appreciate your question. We'll make sure we hit that in our mailbag. We also have a couple more questions that we want to get to during the build-up portion. This is our audience build-up portion of the show, so we're going to get into the content here in just a minute. The meat and potatoes, a lot of good stuff, but we want to give an opportunity to everyone to see the tweet, join the show, get the push notification, all that good stuff. So we're just hanging out for right now. Who should the Saints cut this offseason? Let me know down in the comment section. Who do you think the Saints need to move on from, whether it's a cap casualty, whether it's a player you just don't think has done well this season? Jamal Williams, he was the first guy to get cut by the New Orleans Saints, so let me know what you guys think. Derek Carr's trash from Hayden. David asking, how was your Mardi Gras? I had a great time. Made some jambalaya at home, had some king cake, had some friends over. Life was good. I got to spend some time with Maddie and Dude, my dog, if you guys don't know who that is. It was a great time. Lopez, how was your Mardi Gras, my friend? I know Lopez had it.
My Mardi Gras was amazing.
Yeah?
Went back home for a day and a half.
Yep.
Can't say I remember all of it. It was a good time, though.
The parts that you remember were fun, though?
Yeah, the parts I remember were great. Best part of Mardi Gras is always that 8:30 in the morning, that first sip of Crown and Sprite.
Hits, dude.
Just nice and crisp.
Get you feeling right. Get you feeling right, feeling ready for the day.
Oh,
no matter what beads are thrown your way, you're ready to roll.
I'm not even there for beads anymore.
I love it. Chris Ellis saying Williams was the best cut so far. Carr should be next. Derek Carr cut Alvin Kamara for money purposes. Saints, would you sign Tyler Lockett instead of trading for DK? Good question there, Queen Courtney. Ken saying Crown and Sprite. Have you never had Crown and Sprite? Boy.
Crown Apple and Sprite, to be specific.
Yes, that is fact.
That is where it is at.
That is fact. I'll tell you right now, if you've never had whiskey and Sprite just in general, phenomenal.
You're not
Very underrated combination. Everyone's like, oh, whiskey Coke. It's great. Don't knock whiskey Sprite until you try it. It is an excellent combination, if you ask me.
100%.
I like to think I know ball, too, so there is that. Lopez also knows ball.
100%. Also, you want a little...
Do what?
A little another combination I've been working with?
What's up?
Gatorade and tequila.
Gatorade and tequila. What kind of Gatorade?
Whatever you got.
Is there a Gatorade that you have found is better or worse? Like, have you been like, nah, the lemon lime, the yellow one ain't it. The purple one, not it.
I think what matters most is the tequila you get.
Fair.
There's this coconut 1800.
Okay, that actually sounds gas.
It's amazing.
That actually sounds so good.
It is great at the pool.
That sounds pretty great, dude.
Great.
That feels like you put it in, like, hear me out. That would be awesome as like a frozen margarita, like by the poolside. Oh, that hit. That hit hard.
It's so good.
That'd go crazy. All right, we got some more questions. How many likes can we pick up in the next 90 seconds? We have 80 people watching, 16 likes. I'm going to set the timer right now. It's a like spike. 90 seconds. How many likes can we pick up? We got to get to 50 if we want to get this party rocking and rolling. We're at 17, so if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up icon, like today's video. We're at 23. Can we get to 25? Who's going to hit the thumbs up icon and get us to 25 likes? We're 2 away. Come on, don't let me down here, Who Dat Nation. We're trying to see how many likes we can pick up in the next 60 seconds. We only have 60 left. We're at 31. Can we get to 40? I think we can. Let's go. Come on. Hit that thumbs up icon. Like today's video if you haven't already. More Saints fans will pile in. More content will come your way. And we'll have a lot more fun if you guys hit the thumbs up icon. We're at 40 seconds. Can we get 5 more likes? Can we get 2 more? I need to get to 40 likes. We got to have 50% audience participation. 1 more like in 40 seconds? Come on. Who's got my back? Who's going to do it? Who's going to help us out? We're 30 seconds away from the like spike being over. Come on, Saints fans. We crossed 40. Can we get to 50? Can we get to 50? Finley's liked the video. Randy's liked the video. Hayden, D, Ken, C, Bama, Jerry G have all liked the video. 15 seconds. Can we get 8 more likes in 15 seconds? Come on. Go, 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 go. 4 more. 4 more likes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And all righty, we picked up about 40 likes. That's some extra good stuff from the Who Dat Nation. 47 is where the number ends for right now. 89 people watching. That means that we are above the 50% audience participation number. Shout out to you, Who Dat Nation. All righty, friendly reminder, if you want to get on the show, use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat to be featured. If you guys have questions, either hot takes, trade ideas, draft targets, anything like that, use hashtag Saints, share your thoughts or your question, and then hit send. If you don't do hashtag Saints or you do hashtag space Saints, the software will not pull it. So use hashtag Saints. I'm trying to make that explicitly clear here. And if you want to skip the line, if you want to spend a little extra time on your question, send in a super chat. $2 or more, you can include a message. We always appreciate the super chats for supporting the show, and those of you who do send in super chats, don't feel like you have to, but we always appreciate you if you do, and we'll make it worth your while if you send in a super chat. Lopez, let's get into some cut candidates, dude. Let's talk some cut candidates.
Who are you thinking?
Ooh, I don't know. I got a few that we could break down here on today's first segment. I think we should talk about that here momentarily. Bronny saying actually no because he doesn't fit in New Orleans. Congratulations on 42K. Thank you so much, Jerry G. I appreciate you. David, would you get rid of DeMario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu? We're actually about to talk about that here in just a second. We're going to get set up for our first segment of content. Saints cut candidates. Free agency will start here Monday is when it starts? Dude, that's crazy. I mean, it feels like just yesterday we were on the midst of a 7-game losing streak, and here we are, free agency. Oh, God. It literally can only get better. It can only go up from here. Yes, as a Saints fan, it can quite literally only get better. I mean, technically it could get worse, but I don't think you're going to go from 5 wins to worse than that. And honestly, even if it is, it's like, well, that's fine because we wanted to be bad anyway, so we can go draft like a quarterback next year or something. Like, yeah, we can go get Arch. Who gives a shit? Alrighty, Jerry G says, thoughts on the Jamal Williams cut on Tuesday? Hey, it was one of those ones that had to happen. I love Jamal Williams as a human being. I think he's a fun individual. I think he's a cool player. At one point in time, he was a very damn good player, but Saints never used him right. Just wasn't a good fit. Has to happen. It's a business, and at the end of the day, I'm not in the business of paying people a lot of money to not do a lot of things. So he was due more. He was due more in millions than touchdowns he scored over Saints' career. So not really worth it. All righty, we're going to dive into it. Hayden saying, Trizzy, you're my favorite when the games are on. Oh, thank you so much, Hayden. I appreciate you. We're going to dive on in. First segment coming at you whenever Lopez is ready to go. Cool. Yeah, whenever you're ready, my friend, let's dive on in. What's happening, Saints fans? Welcome into another edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning into today's program. A lot of great content options that cover the black and gold, so thank you so much for hanging out with us for a few minutes. The Saints, they need to make some cuts. Free agency is just around the corner. They got to get cap compliant because right now they're about $46.4 million over the cap right now, and that's according to Spotrac on Wednesday, March 5th at 4 p.m. Obviously, if things change, we'll let you know. We'll update this video. We'll put some information in there, but the Saints have to make some cap decisions. And, take away the financial side of it, you got to get rid of players that are making money that aren't putting up good production. One of those guys, in my opinion, is Derek Carr, and he's already said he is not taking a pay cut this year. And the other option is, well, you could just fully restructure Derek Carr, or, partially restructure Derek Carr. And I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, sure, you save $30.9 million against the cap in 2025, and that would pretty much get you as close to cap compliance as you possibly can just in one move. But I don't think it's worth it. I think it would actually do more harm than good. And I think Katherine Terrell, she put out a really good article on ESPN laying out a lot of the cap decisions that the Saints have to make here in terms of restructures, cuts, all that kind of stuff. And so I just wanted to give her a lot of credit here. Some of the information from this video is from her article. So shout out to Katherine Terrell, does awesome work at ESPN covering the Saints. A full restructure of Derek Carr's contract would free up $30.9 million in 2025, but $7.7 million would be pushed into 2026, giving him a 2026 cap figure of $69 million. Very nice. The downside of restructuring Carr's contract is that releasing him next year will have a bigger impact on the salary cap. A full restructure would add $7.7 million to each year of the deal, and if the Saints released him in 2026, they would either face about $42 million in dead money charges or $19.2 million as a post-June 1 cut, while still having to carry on his salary through the offseason. Look, there's not a lot of moves that the Saints can make in terms of cutting players that'll save money. The best options for some of these guys is reapproach Derek Carr and say, hey, I know you said you wouldn't do a pay cut. Can we talk about it? What about your boy Devontae Adams? He's free. He's a free agent. What if you take a pay cut and we go sign him? What about that? I don't think the Saints have a lot of opportunities to cut players to really free up some cap space. It's going to be minimal savings if you do cut players. That being said, they do have to get rid of some of these guys. And it's going to be hard. Some of these players are very good. And these players are fan favorites. Some of these players are leaders and, Louisiana legends. But I'm just not in the camp of pay players too much money for too little production. So I want you to get down in the comment section. Who is a player that the Saints should cut this offseason? Derek Carr, sounds like they're running it back with him. Doesn't mean you have to cut, or it doesn't mean you have to keep him. You can still cut him. It's an option. It's not a realistic one, but it's an option. But there's also guys like Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, and other names to keep an eye out. So let's start off with Tyrann Mathieu. And he is a cut candidate. He is a player. There's been a lot of rumors out there on social media of the Saints are, flirting with the idea of cutting Tyrann Mathieu. And I'll tell you this right now, Mathieu went ahead and just put down all of these rumors. He took to Twitter and said, I am Louisiana. I'm a 504 legend. I'm not going anywhere. He's must have been a slow day in the NFL world. So, when you look at the savings, look, if you cut Tyrann Mathieu, reminder, you only get 2 post-June 1 cuts designated per year. So you can save $6.25 million if you cut him, but if you restructure him, you save $4.5 million. And, for Tyrann Mathieu, I personally think that a restructure actually might make more sense. He took a pay cut last year. So did Demario Davis, and they both have contracts that are pretty similar. I think that the leadership value and the things that, not the production, but the off-field impact that Tyrann Mathieu has is something that the Saints still need. And, there's no question about it. Keeping Tyrann Mathieu, sure, maybe it's not the most logical thing in the whole wide world, but I do think it makes sense for where the Saints are at right now. You need to reset a tone. You need to reset a culture. And Tyrann Mathieu is a guy who can do just that. And, why would you go restructure? Well, because he wants to play a couple of more seasons, so you can restructure his contract. Because Tyrann Mathieu says, at least to the quality that I am okay with, I think he got 2 more years left. And he wants to finish his career in New Orleans. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Doesn't want to get traded. Doesn't want to get cut. Doesn't mean you always get what you want. I'm in the camp of do not cut Tyrann Mathieu. I think it would be stupid. And to be totally honest, I think that the Saints need safety depth. Sure, Jordan Howden's on the roster. Will Harris is a free agent. You can bring him back, but you got to have a guy that's on the roster that can, play and be a leader like Tyrann Mathieu. It's kind of the same thing here with Demario Davis. I will say credit to him. He's still been a very productive player. And this past year, ups, downs, lefts, rights, but overall, I think it was a good season for Demario Davis. And with him, I think that he's a player who you should be willing to restructure, not necessarily cut. And Demario Davis even says, I'm not done here. I know that I just came off of an 100-plus sack season. I know I just got an interception last year. I know that things weren't amazing, but things weren't bad. But I ain't done. He's even saying that it's been a journey. God ain't finished, and neither am I. So Demario Davis wants to keep playing. He was really solid last year, and he is, in my opinion, one of the guys who just sets the tone defensively for the Saints. And you just you're not gonna get what you get in Demario Davis. You're not gonna get from anybody on the roster right now. Pete Werner, he is not gonna give you what Demario Davis provides. Jalen Ford, second-year player, we don't really know. It's not fair to say he can do that because Demario Davis makes that much of an impact. And again, restructure Demario Davis. Do not cut him. You actually save more money by restructuring him. Sure, again, you're pushing money off to later. But I'm in the camp of get right now, and then we can figure it out later. I don't think it makes that, or I don't think it's that bad of an idea to restructure a player like Demario Davis because he's still putting up good production. And you would save more if you restructure him. It's a pretty easy decision here. But, another name that's been floated out there is Taysom Hill. Cam Jordan has been a name, but we're not going to talk about him in today's video. Taysom Hill's also been a player that's been discussed as a potential cut candidate because he is due a lot of money this year. And, if I'm the New Orleans Saints, I think, honestly, it actually makes more sense to go with requesting a pay cut. The injury update for Taysom Hill, it's pretty positive. But you also have to acknowledge the fact that he is getting up there in the age column. He's on the wrong side of 30, and he also is coming off an ACL tear and major knee injury, and things are going good in terms of recovery. He's expected to make a full recovery, so that's great. And Kellen Moore has been very adamant that Taysom Hill will be a big part of the offense. He'll be featured a lot. But that being said, you save $10 million if you make him a post-June 1 cut. You're in a rebuild. You may not say you're rebuilding, but the Saints need a rebuild. They need to be smart financially. And that means saying goodbye to players that you love. It means saying goodbye to players that were great. I don't think the Saints should cut Taysom Hill, but we'd be stupid to not at least acknowledge the fact that you saved $10 million if you cut him. So in the camp or in the boat of trade, cut, restructure, whatever, I think if you have to make a cut, Taysom Hill is a pretty solid option as a post-June 1 decision, especially considering right now you're not using Derek Carr as one of those. So I don't want to cut Taysom Hill. I think I would – oh, God, this is a tough one. Help me make this decision here. Help me out. Which one are we cutting? If you have to cut one, which one is it? It's tough, man. I wouldn't cut Tyrann. I wouldn't cut Demario, and I wouldn't cut Taysom, but honestly, I think it'd have to be Tyrann Mathieu. I genuinely don't know. You could convince me any of these. God, I can't even decide. You got to get down in the comment section and let me know. All righty, really quick, before we continue on with some more cut candidates, I saw this really cool cup, by the way. It's absolutely sick. Got the crawfish hanging out. We're boiling hot. It's a nice Tervis tumbler cup. If you want to get it, it's $10 right now. Perfect for any of your favorite beverages. Hot, cold, room temperature. My girlfriend, she doesn't like putting ice in her drinks, so this is perfect for her if she wants to have warm water. But if you guys want to have some warm beverages, hot beverages, cold beverages, or honestly, any beverage, Chatsports.com/Saints Cup. Link is in the comments and description of this video. Colin Saunders. Let's talk about Binky. This is a player I would be okay with cutting. I like Colin Saunders a lot. I want it on record. I like Colin Saunders, and I think he's a good football player, and I think he's a great guy to have around. But you have to make decisions, and you have to make tough decisions. Colin Saunders, he has 1 year left on his current contract. Is it fair to say he hasn't quite lived up to expectations? Maybe. I mean, I know this past season, he only played in 39% of snaps on the defensive side of the ball. He missed 4 games. It happens. Injuries are something you can't necessarily control, but just didn't get a lot of run even when he was healthy. I mean, 39% of all defensive snaps is not a high number by any means. And sure, you missed 4 games, but 39% is a lot. And I will also add this. The interception that he had against the Chiefs was electric. That was so fun. I was praying he would take it to the house, but just obviously didn't happen. Colin Saunders, very fun personality, very fun locker room presence, very fun player. But, again, you got to cut players that aren't putting up the production you think is worth the money. Saints save $2.5 million if they cut to Colin Saunders. Look, I'm not going to advocate for any of these guys losing their jobs. I'm not going to advocate for any of these guys the Saints to move on from. But again, it's tough decisions. You got to be prepared to make tough decisions, and you got to be willing to save money, especially when you need to clear up $46 million of cap space. Like, you're going to have to find a way to do it. This is the way, and I hate it. I'll tell you what, we will make you guys videos anytime that there's roster updates, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be providing all news and rumors all throughout the offseason. We already do it during the college season, during the NFL season, and honestly, we do it during the college season too, because football is football. That being said, subscribe to the channel. Diehard Saints fan and it's diehard Saints fans making diehard coverage for Saints fans that are diehard fans. That's a pretty good sell, right? Hit the sub button. Let's talk Cedric Wilson. No. Get him out of here. I'm good. Like, his best highlight, I genuinely had to look this up. I was like, when did he catch a touchdown? He caught a touchdown from Jake Haener in that Week 7 game against the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. That was an absolute just train wreck. I wiped that game from my memory, so I was like, wait, when did he receive a touchdown? He also threw a touchdown to Alvin Kamara. That was pretty sick. It was a really cool play. That being said, the Saints saved $2.4 million if they cut Cedric Wilson. Not a big-time contributor. You saw the stats a minute ago. Not a big contributor offensively. Sure, he's a nice veteran presence to have around, I guess. But, again, I'm tired of having players make money that don't really do anything. Also say this is a good wide receiver class. You can go get a lot of players in the draft class. And, the longer free agency goes on and the closer we get to the free agency kicking off, wide receivers will become available in free agency. We've already seen Christian Kirk get cut on Wednesday. We've seen Devontae Adams get cut. We've seen Tyler Lockett get released. We've seen DK Metcalf request a trade. There's been a lot of players that could become available. It's just up to the Saints whether or not they want to go and sign them. So, at the end of the day, Saints got to make moves. They got to make cuts. It's going to be tough. Welcome to being a bad football team and having to rebuild. Not all that fun. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already, like the show. It helps us find more viewers. It also helps viewers find our content. So drop a like if you made it to the end. Clearly, we're doing something right. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. Booyah. Let me know, who should the Saints cut? Why should we keep Taysom? M. Fox, because he's a good football player. Don't cut Taysom. Are you crazy? Anybody but Taysom. No, I don't want to cut Taysom. I literally said it, and I'll say it again. I don't want to cut Taysom Hill. However, you save a lot of money if you do. $10 million. Let me put it this way. If you restructure Derek Carr, you save 30.9. And if you cut Taysom Hill as a post-June 1, right there alone, you save $40.9 million in cap space. You're $46 million over the cap. Those two moves alone pretty much get you to cap compliance. Obviously, got more work to do, but it's right there. I think Taysom Hill should just take a pay cut, personally. That's just my opinion.
Honestly, all I'm really hearing is Derek Carr's the problem.
Yes.
What if we just
that kind of was the
find a way-
point of that video. That's
What
why I
if we just
started
take
off.
Derek Carr out?
That's why I started off with that. I was like, look, you're not doing this. This is why you can't do this. Now we're fucked. Like, we have to cut. If we live in a world where Derek Carr's on the roster and Taysom Hill is not going to be happy.
Oh, the city of New Orleans will look at Derek Carr as he's like a terrorist.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. We already saw a bad Mardi Gras float with Derek Carr. It might get worse. We saw a zombie Derek Carr. It might get worse. It might be like, I don't know, something ridiculous.
Completely unrelated. Did you see the P. Diddy one they had?
Yes. I did. I did see that. Mardi Gras floats are awesome. Dude.
They're fine.
They're so great. They're so fun. They're so funny.
They can get away with so much.
Hayden saying Jake Haener already got cut. That did not happen. Jake Haener has not been cut. I don't know where you saw Jake Haener got cut because that has not happened. True. I mean, yeah, Jake Haener is, he is on the roster, my friend. Jake Haener did not get cut. Hayden, you're saying, wait, what? He is not cut. I asked Nick earlier today on why we can't just move on from Carr, and basically his response was it would cost $50 million against the cap to cut/trade him. Well, I'll tell you right now. I'm going to pull up Spotrac. So with Derek Carr, this season, if you were to release him today, you only save $1.326 million with $50.132 million in dead cap. But if you release him on March 16th through June 1st, there's a $70 million dead cap hit, and you lose $18 million. So you're not going to do that then. If you pre-June 1st trade, you save $11.32 million, but you have $40 million in dead cap. Post-June 1 release, you save $30 million. You have $21.458 million in 2025 dead cap, $28.674 in 2026 dead cap. If you trade him, you save $40 million this year with $28.674 in dead cap in 26 and $11.5 in 25. So, I mean, sure, you're going to have to pay money either way, but if you cut him or trade him, or I mean, you'll save money either way, like unless you cut him like 2 weeks. All righty, let's dive into the second one. Second segment of the day. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Next segment is going to be wide receivers. Who should the Saints add? Do you think wide receiver is a need? Just type me if you think wide receiver is a big need for the New Orleans Saints. And also, we're at 78 likes. Can we get to 100? Can we get to 100 likes really quick here? Let's go. John Borelli, what is going on, my friend? Hope you are doing well, John. It's been too long. It's been it's good to see you, my friend. I'll just tell you, it's good to see you. I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, man, welcome back. It's great to see you, my friend. Jaden, we have to trade for DK. Yes, DK is not a free agent. He has requested a trade. Aiden says me, but just one big body receiver. I agree with you. Brent says the Broncos were basically in the same situation a year or two ago and cut Wilson with like $80 million off the hook. Cutting Carr is doable. I agree with you, Brent. People saying that you can't cut Derek Carr, the same people who said that you can't cut Russell Wilson. Well, the Broncos did it, and then they kicked the Saints' ass in their own stadium on primetime football with Drew Brees when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame for the New Orleans Saints. So, yeah. I'm in the camp of, to be totally honest, I don't really give a shit if these millionaires lose some money. I don't care. I want me as a simple man that loves football, that's a fan of a team, I want to enjoy it. I could care less if the millionaires lose a few bucks. Sorry.
See, the one thing the Broncos did, though, they got Bo Nix.
Yeah, they did get Bo Nix.
There's no rookie quarterback where I would be like, let's have a bunch of dead money, but it's all right, we got this quarterback. I don't think any of the quarterbacks are that good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, like, Cam Ward's pretty much the only one I would do that for. And you don't have the number 1 overall pick, so you're not getting Cam Ward. So, no, like, just not really great quarterback class this year. Next year, if Garrett Nussmeier, he's definitely going to be a solid option. But, like, if Arch Manning and, like, 1 or 2 other guys decide not to go to the draft, that draft class gets very thin very quick. So it's like you kind of have to start being smart about where you're going QB-wise. I also will say I think it's stupid to keep Derek Carr around. I just, like, it's just too much money. And if he's not willing to take a pay cut, like, I don't blame him. I wouldn't take a pay cut, but It just hasn't worked out. It factually just hasn't been what either. I think what either side wanted it to be. Cody says, cut Jake Haener, Colin Saunders, Nathan Shepard, DeMarco Jackson, Cedric Wilson, Landon Young, restructure Foster Moreau, pay cut for Jordan, Matthew, and Taysom Hill. Cody, you know ball, my friend. All right, let's get into the wide receiver options for the New Orleans Saints. Hayden saying, Trace, are you okay? Yeah, bro. I'm living good, man. I'm living the dream. You ready to roll? Cool. All righty, let me reset here. All righty. Let's dive into it. Peyton Turner doesn't need to be cut. He's a free agent, so you don't have to cut him. Anyway, let's dive on in. Mere Comet, thanks for watching, my friend. Yep. What's happening, Saints fans? Welcome into another edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in, no matter where you are, how you're watching. We appreciate the Who Dat Nation for taking a few minutes to hang out with us and learn about the black and gold. We're going to dive into some wide receiver options for the New Orleans Saints. There is no question about it. There is no doubt in my mind. And if you want to argue with me, get in the comment section. Wide receiver is a major, massive, arguably, in my opinion, one of the biggest needs for the New Orleans Saints this offseason. And in case you disagree, well, I'm going to go ahead and blow your mind here. The New Orleans Saints had one player have more than 500 receiving yards. Do you see who that is? Juwan Johnson. He's a tight end. Now, obviously, the Saints, they were missing Chris Olave for a good amount of time. He finished the season. Actually, I take it back. There's two players who had 500 receiving yards. Alvin Kamara and Juwan Johnson. So two players had 500 receiving yards or more. It was a tight end and a running back. Saints need wide receivers. No doubt about it. Really quick, I'm going to get you updated on the 2025 sub battle. We're kicking the Falcons today, channels, but our lead over 100. Let's double it, though. Let's get to 200. Let's get a 200 sub lead on these frauds Falcons today. The more subs we get, the more videos you get. So hit the sub button, lock us in, and let's bury the baby brothers of the NFC South. All right, we're going to dive into some a trade option, free agency, and draft. This is the biggest one of the day. DK Metcalf has requested a trade on Wednesday, March 5th. So, in my opinion, the Saints absolutely must do their due diligence by at least making a call to the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not saying go ahead and make the trade, but make a call and see what it's going to cost you. Worth noting, if you do trade for DK Metcalf, you're likely going to have to give him a little bit of extra money on the back end because he's, in the last year of his deal. Now, DK this past season, shockingly, less than 1,000 yards, still much better than anything the Saints had this past year. And at 6'4", 235 pounds, I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what the New Orleans Saints need. They need a player like DK Metcalf. They need a guy who is dominant, who's big-bodied, who's an alpha receiver, who can get the contested catches over the middle. He can be a downfield threat. You got to get a guy who fits the size profile and the role of a DK Metcalf, because ever since Michael Thomas has started dealing with those injuries, you haven't had a guy like that. And I'll tell you right now, I don't love the wide receiver group in free agency. This class, it's old. It's not very talented. It's a lot of players who, even if you do want to go get them, they're probably going to cost you a lot of money. I just think when it comes down to it, these are probably the options that I would give you. Granted, not every one of these is a great option, but Devontae Adams, Tyler Lockett, Christian Kirk, they were recently made available as free agents. D-Hop has decided to retire from the National Football League, so he's off the board, but maybe Stephon Diggs, maybe Amari Cooper. My only problem, there's one guy on here who's under the age of 30, and that's Christian Kirk, who last season had less than 400 yards receiving and only one touchdown. And look, Devontae Adams, he's probably the best option in those free agency options. And I think Stephon Diggs is a good football player too. Missed some time with the Texans due to injuries. I could see him returning to Houston. He was pretty good for C.J. Stroud in the limited time. I will never forgive the Minneapolis Miracle, but I'll tell you what, he's a good football player. And maybe go Amari Cooper. Maybe go Tyler Lockett. These are all options. I do know the Raiders are interested in Tyler Lockett, especially with that Pete Carroll connection, but Saints need to add a wide receiver. And I showed you this because I wanted to prove the point. It's not very exciting in free agency. So DK Metcalf, trade might make some sense. But then you also have the draft that you could possibly address the wide receiver group. And then there's also a guy like MVS out there. So, there's options. I think the Saints need to add wide receivers. I think they honestly need to add more than one. But what do you think? How many wide receivers would you add if you're the GM or if you're Kellen Moore? How many wide receivers, how many pass catchers are you bringing on to the depth chart? I'm saying you got to at least add 2 or 3, like bare minimum. You have to add probably 1 cheap free agent and 2 in the draft. That's my opinion. I also will say this, when it comes down to the New Orleans Saints, I think that they have to acknowledge the fact that they need players, they need talent, they need guys who will be productive. However, I also don't think that the Saints need to draft a wide receiver round 1. You can go and get a guy in any round. And here we're going to show you some players to possibly look at. Ted McMillan, Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, Jack Besh, Savion Williams are all options. And one big commonality between all of the players on your screen. All of these guys here have a very nice size profile. All of these guys here are bigger than what the New Orleans Saints have on the roster. All of those guys are big-bodied, 6 foot plus, can win contested catches, can win over the middle, at least have more size than what is available for the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to tell you more about those draft targets, but really quick, if you guys want to get a really sick cup, pool season's almost here. It's still pretty cold, so you can still have some hot cocoa or some coffee. Go get this cup. It's $10. It's sick. You got the crawfish saying we're boiling hot. Absolutely fresh. Chatsports.com/Saints Cup. The link is available in the comments and description of this video. I highly encourage you to check it out. Really, really good stuff available at Fanatics. $10? Yeah, sign me up for that. So let's go back to the draft targets. Now, Ted McMillan, he's a guy you're going to have to go round 1. And I've started to see mock drafts where he's falling past the Saints pick. And I'll tell you, if he's available at 9, it's very hard for me to not sprint up to the stage with my draft card that says Terrell McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. But I love the idea of Trey Harris in round 2 or 3. I also think Jaden Higgins could be a really good option for the New Orleans Saints. But what about bringing home Jack Besh? He's from Louisiana. That would be a really cool story and a really cool homecoming for him. And he's also a damn good football player. And Savion Williams, same thing, really talented player. The production doesn't jump off the screen, but, look at how much Jack Besh did. That's pretty electric. The Saints need size. The Saints need girth. The Saints need width. I tried to make that as giggity as possible, trying to have some fun here. But the Saints, truly, they do need size. They don't need speed. You have speedsters. You have burners. You have guys who are very fast and a little bit smaller. Literally nobody on the roster is taller than 6'4". Sure, maybe that's me asking for a lot, but MVS is the tallest guy on the wide receiver group last year, and he's not on the roster right now. He's not under contract. So in terms of players you have under contract, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Cedric Wilson, Bub Means, Mason Tipton, and Kevin Austin Jr. None of those players are taller than 6'2". None of those players weigh more than 220 pounds. None of those players fit the size profile of what the New Orleans Saints are missing. Bub Means, maybe. He can get there. He actually has very shockingly similar in terms of size and athleticism as Michael Thomas. But you got to see him stay on the field. You got to see him stay healthy. And you got to see him put up production. And my point being, the Saints need to lead the draft with multiple wide receivers. I don't think you draft one and you're good. I think you have to draft multiple. You have a lot of picks, actually, in the top 150. Use a couple of them on wide receiver. Genuinely, we saw once again what happens to the Saints when you don't have depth and when you get the injury bug. It's happened before when Traquan Smith was wide receiver 1. Now we had a free agent MVS become wide receiver 1. We got to get better. We have to get better in the wide receiver group. So I want you to name a wide receiver that the Saints should add. Draft, free agency, trade, I don't care. Name a wide receiver the Saints should bring in to the roster, and I want you to show how much ball knowledge you got. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Y'all stay golden. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. Boom. Okay, I fucked up that. That's my fault. Yeah, so I forgot that was supposed to be Tushy. I forgot to put the ad read in the script. So we're just gonna. Yep. No, so it was supposed to be Tushy. I didn't have the ad read in the script anywhere. I saw that in the middle of the video. So we're just gonna put Tushy on the mailbag. Yep, exactly. I'm just gonna update this. No, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna message Jack too before I forget. Um, cool. And then I put the Tushy ad read pretty high up, so we should be good. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Mailbag coming up. If you have a question, hashtag Saints or use Super Chat. Sweet. Ralph, you want me to add Devontae Adams? Use hashtag Saints. Use hashtag Saints and say add Devontae Adams. David White says T. Higgins. They franchise tagged him, unfortunately, so he is not coming back. Let's see who else here. My brother played football with Jack Besh at high school, and LSU. I played with him in high school as well. That's cool, Mir comment. How do you feel about Kobe Bryant in the 4th round? Yeah, he seems like a good dude. Kansas. I'm going to be honest. I don't know shit about Kobe Bryant. Let's look at his draft profile. Nah, dude. Didn't see him play for Lakers. I didn't live in LA back in the day. All right. Plays with good athleticism and instincts, willful, and can be smothering at the top of the route. Digests route combos. Quality burst to close or burst to close for pass breakups. 34 passes defended. 13 interceptions. Rarely stays blocked by wideouts and run support. There's plenty of dog in him. Okay. Yeah, I'm sold. I'll take him. That'd be electric. That would be electric. I like that idea a lot. CTM, thank you for your super chat. We will go ahead and use that in the mailbag. Can we start with that question? Cool. We'll start with that. We'll wait to go until that one loads in and stuff, but then we're good. Make sure you get your questions in. Hashtag Saints or super chat. Want a state for real from Mirror comment. That's sick. What's an ideal trade package? I mean, what? 3rd round pick or something like that? Send him Derek Carr and Chris Olave? Who knows? Send him. I mean, what? A lot of y'all believe Derek Carr's the best quarterback in the world. Would you rather have Derek Carr or Geno Smith? Justin Fields. You're funny, Lopez. Trace, what are the 3 biggest needs the Saints have to address this offseason? It's a good question, Jaden. We'll get to it in the mailbag. Adrian says, would you draft James Pierce Jr.? IDK about number 9, but maybe. You're good. If you haven't already, use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat. Get on the program. We have one super chat from CTM. We'll pull it up here momentarily. We're just waiting for our software to fix it. I think I'm on here twice. Am I on here twice? I am. There's 2 of me. I think you're Cam right and you're good. There we go. Now there's only 1 of me. Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't mean to call you out there, Lopez, but I've been told by my mother, my boss, and my girlfriend having more than one Trace Girouard around is just not good news. It's just bad news. That's true. They are not here. Dream first 3 picks: Tet, Scattaboo, and Deion Walker. That's a good one, Cody. Draft Tet McMillan if he's there at 9. Just Andre. Use hashtag Saints, guys. If you want to get on the show, if you have hot takes or something like that, use hashtag Saints. We want to get y'all involved. We're going to get y'all on the show. Draft Tet McMillan if he's there from Just Andre. I'd be okay with that. I would be a fan of Ted McMillan. We'll have to see if that happens, though. Dante Thornton is a big boy. Saints need to check him out. 6'5" in height. Ooh, Paul. Dante Thornton. Who is that? Cool. Dante Thornton Jr. He is the Tennessee wide receiver, 22 years old. Is he going to be in the draft this year? Oh, yeah, he will. 26 catches, 661 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6'5", 215 pounds. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, Dante Thornton. Dude, talk to me. Dante, come give me a call. What's up, bud? What's up there, man? All righty. No, we'll just do the first question on the mailbag. All righty, we're going to get into the mailbag now. Thank you guys for loading up your questions. If you have more, feel free to load them up because we'll still dive into it and talk about it. So hit your boy up. #Saints, use a super chat. If you haven't already, it's okay. It's not too late to get your questions in. We're going to go ahead and dive in here momentarily. But, yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're good. You're good. Are we good on questions or do you need more? Okay. Douglas, thanks for joining, brother. If you guys have any questions or hot takes, you want to get on the show, use #Saints. Ask your question, share your hot take, draft target, trade target, free agent target, whatever it is. You want to ask about my personal life, you want to ask about my dog, you want to ask about, I don't know. My life is honestly not that interesting, so I don't know what else you would want to ask about. But, yeah, you can ask me anything. #AMA. Saints, who's your guy in the draft that the Saints need to get? I'm going to go with an underrated one here. Jay Higgins, linebacker out of Iowa. You probably don't know who I'm talking about. That's a good thing because he's a dog. He's a frickin' dog. Okay, cool. Sweet. Paul says Thornton could be the next Megatron. Good to know. All righty, let's dive on into it. Mailbag coming up. Lopez, whenever you give me the thumbs up, we can rock and roll, buddy. All righty, let's dive on in. Mailbag coming your way. What's going on, Saints fans? Welcome to our mailbag. We do these every single Wednesday as a part of our live show, so be sure to subscribe and join us Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Central Time. And I'll tell you what, we get a lot of questions. We have a lot of people join, so I can't necessarily get to everyone's question. But if you want to ask me a question, you want to share a hot take, you just didn't get yours in on the mailbag, or hey, you just found the video later, that's totally fine. Hit your boy up on social media. If you follow me and you DM me, I'll be sure to respond to your DMs. I honestly love chopping up with the Who Dat Nation. I'm not too popular and I'm not too big of a YouTube guy to just not reply to DMs. So if you guys have questions, if you have comments, if you have anything, you want to learn about me, you want to learn about the Saints, you want to learn about whatever, hit your boy up on social media, and that's A-okay there, Lopez. Alrighty, first question in. We got a super chat from CTM. Shout out to you, my friend. Trace, who are your top 5 draft prospects for the number 9 pick? In no particular order, I'm just going to give you 5 names I'd love. Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. Ted McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. Will Campbell, offensive tackle, LSU. Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Honorable mention, I would go with the James Pierces of the world, the Abdul Carters of the world, some of those edge rushers and whatnot. Will Johnson is a cornerback as well. A lot of needs for the Saints, but the top 5 that I named are definitely the route I would go. Saints Stan, New Orleans should sign Asante Samuel. He played with Brandon Staley. Look, I've actually seen this one before. There's obviously a connection between Asante Samuel and Brandon Staley. It's not like Asante Samuel had a great year last year. But there's familiarity there, and I think that cornerback is a position of need, and I think that the DB group entirely needs to be better for the Saints, and maybe change the scenery, maybe a new city would be good for Asante Samuel, and it would be good for the New Orleans Saints. So we'll have to see. Who knows? Jaden, Trace, if you had to choose one of the Saints to sign a free agency, would you choose between Devontae or DK Metcalf? Well, right now, I'm going to say this for those of you who don't know. DK Metcalf has, at the time of filming this video, Wednesday, March 5th, in about 4 p.m. in the afternoon, DK has requested a trade. He's not a free agent yet. That doesn't mean that he won't become a free agent, but I think that they'll likely trade him. I would go with DK. I think he's exactly what the Saints are missing offensively. I just don't think that either of these will truly happen. It just feels like they're going to be priced out for the New Orleans Saints. Aiden, what's your dream realistic first 3 picks for the Saints? Mine's Tet, James Pierce, and Travion Henderson. I'm going to go. How do I want to do this? I'm going to go here different than you. Tyler Warren, round 1. Trey Harris, round 2. Best available edge rusher, defensive lineman in round 3. Or you go best available edge rusher in round 2, and you go like Cam Scatterbu in round 3 or something like that. I think that those, you got to address the offense, and you got to get playmakers, and you should add to the defensive line. So I'll say, final answer, Tyler Warren, best available defensive lineman, or Trey Harris, and then Trey Harris / Cam Scatterbu / Travion Henderson. I like all those options. Name a player you want to sign in free agency. There's a lot of good names out there. There's also not a lot of good names out there. Who's a player you want to sign as an NFL free agent? Let me know down in the comment section. Next question coming in from Tushy. Actually, we're going to dive into Tushy here really quick. I got to tell you all about today's presenting sponsor, and it is Tushy Bidets, my favorite sponsor, your favorite sponsor, and I'll tell you what, my butthole's favorite sponsor. Tushy Bidets are absolutely amazing, and here we are in the great month of March. No football, but I'll tell you what, March Madness is right around the corner, and it's a sacred time of getting together with the fellas, yelling at the TV, while deleting some beers and crushing some pizza. And there's no doubt about it, your bracket will bust this month. But that doesn't mean your butthole has to as well. Aura is Tushy's brand new electric bidet with an auto open lid and seat. Instant warm water that never runs cold, and UV sterilization for next level hygiene. Aura by Tushy easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. You don't need to be an electrician. You don't need to be a plumber. It's so easy. A Falcons fan can do it. An installation takes less than 10 minutes, and honestly only about 10 minutes. It's so easy to install, but it's even easier to use. You sit down, pull an Atlanta Falcons, drop a deuce if you will. You clean up, and then you dry using the built-in air dryer. That's right, cleaning yourself after using the restroom is now hands-free. So reclaim your comfort zone on the porcelain throne. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. All the information is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Tushy for sponsoring today's show, and shout out to you for keeping that hiney shiny. Mr. Filmer, next question. Are there any under-the-radar players in the draft who could provide great value for the Saints and make a significant contribution? Mr. Filmer, what a good question. Everyone clap it up for Mr. Filmer. All right, so one name that I really, really like, he's a linebacker out of Iowa. Jaden Higgins is, I believe, his name. Jaden or Jay Higgins? I want to make sure I get this right. Was this guy? Yes, Jay Higgins. Jay Higgins, the linebacker out of Iowa. He's an absolute freak. Just like such a textbook traditional linebacker. Like, to be honest, the Saints need that. He could be like a good Demario Davis replacement over time. And as Demario eventually does hit retirement. Other running backs, Travion Henderson's a really good one. Dylan Sampson's a good one. Dante Thornton, listen to this. He's a 6'5", 215-pound wide receiver out of Tennessee. 26 receptions, 661 yards, 6 touchdowns, an average of over 25 yards per catch. In 2023, he had averaged 17 yards per catch with 1 touchdown. He transferred from Oregon, spent his first 2 years of college football there. So that could be another option. I think that's one to maybe explore, and, we'll have to see. In terms of other players, there's a lot of those wide receivers. Jack Bash, he's not really a sleeper, but definitely one to keep an eye out on. He's from Louisiana. I think that'd be a really good addition to the Saints depth chart. Trying to think of running back too. I said Dylan Sampson. Colston Loveland at tight end, but that's not really a sleeper. Gunnar Helm, he's going to be a good one. Mason Taylor, those aren't really sleepers though. There's, to be honest, you have really good opportunities in the top 4 rounds to make some really good picks, and I think you got to make sure you do that. But Mr. Filmer, I really appreciate the question. Cam Scatterbu, also a name to keep an eye on, but again, not really a sleeper, just really good football player. Zion's Ozempic. I'll never forgive the Minneapolis Miracle, but sign Stephon Diggs. Oh man, I'm with you, dude. I don't like the idea of bringing in the Minneapolis Miracle. Bah. Let's call a spade here. Stephon Diggs is good at football. Um, Shout out producer Lopez here. You also have a need at wide receiver. There's no question about it. You got to add to this group. When Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Dante Pettis, those guys are free agents. I mean, you need more. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Bub Means, those are good players, but again, you haven't seen Shaheed or Olave play a full season yet. You haven't seen Bub Means play a full season. It's only been one, so it's not fair to say, but I think that wide receiver is a big need. And to be honest, I like the idea of Stephon Diggs as like a leader and as like a locker room presence, not as a locker room guy. Like, I don't think he'd do all that. I think he's more of a diva than anything. But, and, you know, I do know this. Jeremy Chuggs, the host of Texans Today here, he knows that the Texans love Stephon Diggs, and they love him in the locker room. They think he's a great teammate and stuff. I think that Stephon Diggs is a massive, just like shit shot. It'll probably never happen, but I'll tell you what, if it does, he's a good football player, and the memes would be absolutely hysterical. What do you think? What would you do? Would you sign Stephon Diggs? Just give me a sign or a pass down in the comment section. I'm going to go pass. I don't think it makes all that much sense. I think he's going to be expensive, and, you know, he's coming off of an injury on the wrong side of 30. But you can't question it. He's a good football player. Finley, do you think we will retain Taysom Hill? I think we need to, even if it's just half the player returning from injury, still would be one of the best utilities in the league. So, Finley, two points I want to make here. First one is, yes, I do think that they're going to retain Taysom Hill. Kellen Moore has been very adamant, and he's been very open that he wants to make Taysom Hill a featured part of the offense. And then he also has made it very clear that he's also agreed that, or not agreed, he's also made it clear that Taysom Hill has been recovering well from his injury. So we'll have to see what happens. I don't think it makes sense to cut him, but if you do, you actually save $10 million if you make him a post-June 1 cut. So that is something to think about. Does it make sense? Probably not. I think the best thing to do is just ask him to take a pay cut more than anything. Rather than cut him from the roster, ask him to take a pay cut. Because, look, again, he's coming off of an injury. He wants to stay in New Orleans. New Orleans wants him to stay around. Like, take the pay cut, Taysom. Like, that'd be really cool. It'd be really helpful. Come on, Seven. We want to see that happen. All righty, cool. How active will the Saints be in free agency, and who are some realistic targets they can go for? First of all, I think they're going to be pretty active. Mickey Loomis quite literally said that they're going to be more active than they were last year in free agency. Don't expect a lot of splashy moves. Don't expect a lot of big, huge name signings that are headline-grabbing names, but expect, like a Christian Kirk or maybe like a Aaron Jones or maybe, I don't like – who are realistic targets? I'm going to be honest. It's not a lot of great ones out there in terms of free agency. I think you got to build in the draft more than anything. Not a lot of good offensive linemen. Javon Hargrave is available. I want nothing to do with him. Like, Saints should be active in terms of realistic free agent targets. I'll make a video about that, going into this week. I don't expect them to be very active in terms of big names. I think it's going to be a lot of smaller name players. Cole, I wish I had some names off the top of my head. Some aren't real. I can't think of, nothing's come to my mind. Saints, would you, hashtag Saints actually, from Queen Courtney. You all know what to do. Get the Queen emojis in the chat. Would you sign Tyler Lockett instead of trading for DK? I would, oh, God. I did see a tweet that said we should sign Tyler Lockett for the sole purpose of how to teach Chris Olave how to take hits and how to go down. I think it's a good idea. Would I sign Tyler Lockett instead of DK? I think DK is better. I think he fits more of what the Saints need. I know that it would cost you more, and I know that it would be more of a splashy move, but if it's between DK or Tyler Lockett, I'm taking DK. Loco Lover. Oh, God, here we go. Javon Hargrave. Did you put this in here because I said Javon Hargrave? No, absolutely not. His production's gone down every year. He's old. No. I don't want to sign Javon Hargrave. Like, if you want to go – here, let's see. D-line free agent targets. Let's see here. 2025 best defensive agent or defensive line free agent targets. From CBS, Poona Ford, DJ Jones, BJ Hill, and Milton Williams, Levi Onwuzurike. I don't know if I said that right. There's also Mekhi Becton. He's an offensive lineman. That's not a defensive lineman. There's another one for you. Cole Becton. No, do not sign Javon Hargrave. That's a bad idea. All righty, Avery. How do you feel about Bond getting that big contract after leaving? Hey, man, it's due. It was deserved. He was signed a 1 year, $3.5 million contract. Now he's due over $34 million guaranteed. I hate that the Saints didn't get to utilize him. I hate that he's getting good production for players that the Saints had on the roster at one point. I mean, it feels like it's the tail of the tail of player either comes to the Saints and Saints can't afford to keep him, or player doesn't do well with the Saints move on, and then they go on and do great things for another team. It just feels like I've seen the song and dance over and over again. I'm very happy for Zach Bond. Congratulations to him. It's very deserved. He worked his ass off. He was a really good football player this year, and I'll just add, best of luck to him. It's very deserved. Saints got to start figuring out how to get these guys to stick around and how to utilize them best at their ability. Danny, Trace, Ashton Jeanty and Alvin Kamara sounds nice. What do you think? I agree, it does. I think that Ashton Jeanty and Alvin Kamara, not only are they good complements to each other, but I think that Ashton Jeanty could take over for Alvin Kamara as the bell cow back after Kamara inevitably retires. I do think that there's something to say about the New Orleans Saints, though, drafting Ashton Jeanty in round 1. If you do draft a running back in round 1, it should be a this is one of the pieces we need, and this is one of the few pieces we're missing. I understand going with a high upside, highly skilled and best player available, but I also think that when it comes to Alvin Kamara and the Saints and Ashton Jeanty and the Saints, beef up the trenches, find other places to succeed, because I mean, we saw what happened with the Eagles. They were running back away. They added Saquon, and look what happens. They had the trenches developed. They had the trenches established. They had everything else established. The quarterback, offensive line, wide receiver, tight end, all of that was established. Defense, they're set. They just need a running back. So I've always been in the camp of draft Ashton Jeanty in round 1. I like it. But, the longer I kind of think about it, the more I talk to it with the guys here at the Chat Sports Studios, I'm like, hey, maybe we are better off going Tyler Warren. Maybe we are better off going Ted McMillan, or if Will Campbell's available, or, one of those guys. So I like the idea of it. I'm starting to kind of change my tone on it, but I still think that Ashton Jeanty, I'll tell you what, if that's the pick, I'm going to be happy about it. I think it would be an excellent selection. He's a great football player. Be sure to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the sub button. We're doing something right if you're still watching. So lock us in. Free Saints videos by Saints fans for Saints fans. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. All righty, live show wrapped up. 54 minutes. Or it's 4:54. We've been live for an hour, so we can go ahead and sign off here in a moment. Saints fans, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll do a 60-second shot clock. If we get a super chat in the next 60 seconds, we'll stick around. If not, we're out of here, and Lopez and I are going to go home. Lopez, what are you doing tonight? Do you live far from the office? Oh, you're over there? Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, wait, I knew that. You told me that. Okay. There might be some moves later. All righty. No love. Matt wants us to stay live. We'll kick it a little bit longer. Everyone show some love to Nick Lopez. He's been doing an excellent job and helping me out a lot. He is from Louisiana, so it's really fun to have a guy who's native to the boot on the channel. As y'all know, I am not from Louisiana. I'm from Texas. I've never claimed to be from Louisiana. I'm just a diehard Saints fan, man. I love the team, and it's really fun to have a guy like Lopez be add some authenticity and then just add some fun. It's just fun to have a guy around who likes to have a good time. So, Lopez, thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Appreciate you. No love, Matt says stay on. We'll stay.
I guess for Matt, we have to.
Guess we have to, man.
What are you making us do here, Matt? What are you making us do?
Matt's over here being like, bro, stay. And we're like, okay, fine.
Every say
Got
Matt.
it. Twist our arm. We can pop up Matt's super chat whenever our software loads up. Sorry, guys. I'm just honesty hour. Y'all deserve it. The Wi-Fi at our office fucking sucks. It's actual dog shit. And to be totally honest, it's incredible how bad it is. So that's why the super chat's taking a minute to load. Can't even load a Google image. Imagine that. Content creating company can't have Wi-Fi. Crazy.
That shit earlier. I was like,
huh? Dude, I know. It's like.
I was like, I know I didn't do nothing wrong.
Bro, I was literally scripting the video. I re-scripted part of that video 4 times because I would change it and then it would be like offline and then it would reset and then it would be like didn't save any of that. I'm like, okay. And then I'd fix it and it would go. And then fix it and then go. Then fix it and then go. It was just a nightmare. No love, so stay on. Got you. Got you, brother.
With their templates right now, but our backgrounds just aren't on our super chat.
You're good. Do we have Queen Courtney's as well?
Yes.
Okay. Though one thing here, you guys aren't gonna see me. I'm gonna have my hand over here so you guys can see that I'm still kind of over here. If you click into on the editor, if you click into here, that's how you add the background in. You don't have to worry about doing it now just because we're at the end of the live show, but I can show you how to do that whenever we get off. It's just it's kind of a pain if you don't know how to get to it. Queen Courtney, shout out to you, No Love Matt. Thank you for your super chat. How crazy would it be if Travis Hunter fell to 9? Oh my God. What would you do if Travis Hunter's available at 9? Are you taking him? You have to.
You'd have to.
You have to. He's the best athlete in college football.
At least he would put butts in seats.
That's the other thing. He puts butts in seats and he sells jerseys. When you're the Saints, you need that. You have people coming in from other cities outselling Saints fans.
We've already seen that. He looks great in black and gold in Colorado.
That's a good point, dude.
Might as well.
Did y'all hear Lopez on that? That's a great point. He looks good in black and gold. We've already seen it.
Honestly, he looked amazing in it.
I think he looked a lot better in black and gold than navy and white. I'll tell you that.
I don't think many people can pull off navy and white. I don't think
a lot of people can either. Yeah. Tyler Warren, sort of, just because he's Penn State.
But I'd feel bad if he has to wear it again.
Yeah, we'd definitely want him in the black and gold. It would be wild if Travis Hunter falls to 9. I'll tell you what, dude. If he falls out of the top 4, I think just about every team is making calls to be like, how the fuck do we get up there?
I would love to do this stream draft night of Travis Hunter's on the board at 9. That would be.
Dude, could you imagine if Travis Hunter is available at 9? It won't happen. But could you freaking imagine?
If it happens, I'll run down to the nearest gas station.
Oh my God.
We're getting Ocho Loco.
Dude.
That's it.
We're going Ocho Loco. All right, Lopez said when we're at the draft, if Travis Hunter falls to number 9, he's going to go run to the nearest gas station, and both of us, he's going to buy a 4 Loco for both of us, and we're going to shotgun it. Go Ocho Loco.
Exactly.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. All righty. We're going to do 30 seconds, and then we're going to hop on out of here. I got things I want to go do. I got people I want to go see. I got guys like Lopez I want to hang out with, so, sue me. I want to get off work. I'm such a bad person. 15 seconds remaining. Thank you guys so much for watching the live show. Over 1,300 people tuned in. Still over 100 people watching. That's absolutely electric. We really appreciate this Houdat Nation for taking some time out of the day to make us, part of it. So we're going to give you guys a quick 10-second countdown. DJ Beats, sign Johnny Manziel. Dude, the only thing you should sign Johnny Manziel to do is be your roller for extracurricular things.
Could be electric.
Oh, my God. If we could go back in time and have Johnny Manziel quarterback with Travis Hunter, past Johnny Manziel with current Travis Hunter would be electric.
It'd be great.
It would be so sick. It would be the most insane thing ever. All righty. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I see. Would you accept the Patriots trade? What Patriots trade? What are you talking about, Avery? What you talking about, Willis?
I know Allie made some thing on Patriots the other day about trading for Chris Olave, but I don't remember.
Oh, dude, I'm not trading Chris Olave. I'm not trading Chris Olave. I'll tell you what. If they want to give us their first round pick, sure. You want Chris Olave? Give us your first round pick, Barefoot. Hey, Allie. Allie, is she out there? Okay, no, she's not. Okay, I was gonna ask her what that trade was. Thanks, Lotteray. We will ask her next time we see her, but she is not on. She's not at her desk. So I was gonna see what the trade idea was.
I remember I built it.
I'll tell you right now, if you want Chris Olave, give me your first round pick. That's what I'm asking for.
Maybe it was like a 3 or a 4. It wasn't
like a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yeah.
Oh God, a 4th round pick for Chris Olave is disrespectful. A 4th round pick for Chris Olave is such a slap in the face. I'd rather vomit I'd rather chew up shards of glass, wash it down with bleach, and then throw it back up than trade a Chris Olave for a 4th-round pick. Sounds like an average Tuesday for a Falcons fan. All righty, we're out of here. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Y'all stay golden. For producer Lopez, I'm Trizzy Trace. We'll see you guys next time.